Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Fan Real Talk, where fishing, faith, and friendship come together. Today, I am joined by one of the standout anglers from the Llano fishing team, Ty Gass. Ty, a young man whose roots run deep in a family of fishing, who's already made a name for himself in the fan fishing series. Ty and his partner, Ethan Del Rosario, have earned major accomplishments, including Anglers of the Year in 23-24 and Fan 24-25 state championship that was held in May of this year. We're going to dig into his journey, his family, his faith, and what it takes to rise to the top. So if you're enjoying these podcasts, this series, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We want to hear from you.
Faith Angler Network Real Talk, where faith, fishing, and friendships come together.
Ty, welcome to the podcast. I'm so glad to finally get you in the world studios right here in Spicewood.
I'm glad to be here.
Excellent, excellent. So for those that don't know you, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
I'm Ty Gass. I'm 15. I'm a sophomore that goes to Llano High School. I've been fishing since I can remember, and I'm here today with Jeff Cook to talk about my journey.
Yeah, yes, we are. So you come from a family of fishermen. What's it like growing up in that environment?
It's great. It really gets you out on the water as much as you need to be. You can learn a lot from my grandpas. Even my mom fishes.
Mm-hmm.
I usually beat her. But you can learn a bunch, and I was kind of born into it.
Yeah, you really, really were. In fact, I've known your grandpas, both Alan and Randy, 20 years. I mean, they've fished with us. We fished together and did some fun fishing back in the day. So it's truly a gift and a blessing to see that generation come through and end up fishing with us. So when did you become serious about tournament fishing?
I probably became serious around 5th grade is when I really knew that I wanted to start competitive fishing for high school. Well, junior high at the time. My first year was 6th grade. I started fishing fan. We didn't do too great. I jumped in the boat with my grandpa, Alan. We went to Choke Canyon, won that tournament. And that's when I knew that it was right for me.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty cool. You've got a lot of successes we'll get into here later in the podcast. Well, what motivates you to push, to improve, and compete at this level?
What really motivates me is when you go out there and you don't have the best day, because it just pushes you to go again and get better every time.
And and that's right. It's just continually practicing and pushing through. Tell me about an early memory with fishing with one of your family members.
My earliest memory is probably, I don't know how old I was, probably 7 or 8, but we were fishing on LBJ in a Wednesday night tournament. And I told my grandpa that I had a fish on, and he didn't believe me because I'd been saying it all day. And we got up to the boat, and it was a big fish, and he was just standing up there, and it got off, and we just watched it swim off. I'll remember that forever.
You remember that? Were there any comments that he said, "Why'd you let it go?" Or did you just kind of just throw the bait out there and keep going?
I just remember that it was on a big rage crawl.
That's really cool. Which grandpa was that?
That was Randy Grounds.
Randy. What great memories. Oh man. Well, tell us about the Llano fishing team. I know you've been with it since it started because I know who started the program.
The Llano fishing team is great. It's a good environment. We meet up 2 or 3 times a year, and we shake everybody's hands, go through the rules. We really have a good time. Sometimes we have some food. We give away rods and baits and all kinds of stuff, but it's a great environment. Everybody wants to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's pushing to be at the top.
Yeah, no, I know that. So you're in a region with some, pretty serious competitors. What's that experience like for you?
Well, it makes it really tough, especially Texas high school bass has been rough on us this year. We haven't been having the best year, but it's just pushing us to go harder
Yeah.
and catch more fish.
Yeah, that's true. So, are there mentors or captains or coaches that have played a big role in your growth as an angler? I know we talked about, your family. Is anyone outside of the family? I know that's a big influence, but I didn't know if you had anybody you wanted to think about that.
Well, I watch Drew Gill a bunch.
Hmm.
I like him, but I really learned most of everything I know from my two grandpas.
Yeah, and they are a couple of great men to learn from for sure, for sure. So this wasn't in there, but who's a better fishing of your grandpa? Which one?
Depends on what time of year it is.
That's a good answer right there. He didn't throw anybody under the bus on that. So we're going to talk a little bit about teaming up with Ethan. You guys have been a solid team, and you and Ethan have become a strong team. How did that partnership begin?
That partnership began in seventh grade, right before Hubbard Creek. Me and my other partner, Ace Gas, we were practicing. And the week before, his band director told him he's going to have to pick one because he can't miss Fridays. And we go down to the lake on Friday. So he had to pick a path and he chose band.
Mhm.
So we picked Ethan because my mom had fished with Ethan in the sixth grade when Ethan fished LBJ with my mom and Grayson, I
Mhm.
believe. And she told me that he'd be a good partner. And it was a week before, so we just had to go with it. And it ended up working out.
Yeah, I would say it has worked out pretty well. What makes you two work well together?
We work well together because I'm more of a power fisherman. I'm on the front of the boat running it. And Ethan, he finds a bait in practice that he's going to catch them on. And he sits on the back of the boat and he usually catches two or three fish in the tournament and sometimes a big fish.
Yeah. Well, that's neat. So you kind of fish your strengths, both of you, and together you've obviously found a pattern of success, and that's really the kind of the goal when you're working as a team. Um, what your family fishing background? So how has that family background helped you become a better partner or a strong tournament partner?
Well, the family fishing background helps me be a better partner because I've been in the boat with multiple people all my life. When I was really young, we had three people in the boat at all times fishing Wednesday night tournaments.
Mm.
So you really got good at just communicating and fishing with other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that's got to be exciting. So let's talk about some of your major wins. I mean, we've already talked about the Angler of the Year and the state championship, but that's just a call. I mean, those are big and certainly memorable. But tell us about the other wins you've had throughout your fishing with us, or even high school bass.
Last year, we had a rough start. I think we placed 28th on Belton, first tournament, and that really put us in the dirt for a while. But when we came back on Buchanan, we were like, we got to win this one. So we practiced, and we went out there. And I drank a Red Bull before the tournament. We pulled it to the first rock pile, threw out there, and caught a 5-pounder. Thought I was going to have a heart attack. So we calmed down for a minute, caught some fish, ended up with, I think, a high 19-pound sack. Won that tournament. That really motivated us. So then we went on to LBJ next, I believe. We started on a grass flat with like 10 other boats. We were watching people catch fish all around us. We didn't catch any. So we ran to a run of docks that we had in practice and caught probably around 12 pounds. And then we ran some other docks, didn't catch anything. We went out to a grass patch, caught some fish, got our heads back in the game. Went to a deep stretch of dock since it was late, and we caught a 5-pounder and then cold 2 more times, and then it was weigh-in time. And then after that, we went to Coleto, started in a spot that we thought was going to be good. It didn't work out. We placed ninth there, which put us one out of Angler of the Year for that year.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it was a great year.
It was a great season. It really was back-to-back wins. I remember, and it led you to, I guess, this the momentum for the state championship, right? So it wasn't, I know you guys were fighting hard. You were battling neck and neck for Angler of the Year. And, it didn't work out, but you closed the season out well.
Yes, sir.
What a great way to go.
And then the state championship was really rough. We started on a point, fished there till noon, had probably 10 pounds. I don't even think we had 5 fish yet. We rolled up to one stretch of docks. I skipped in there, actually had a 6-pounder wrapped up in the dock, and it was just sawing my line. And I got him out, and we got him in the net, put him in the box, and then we went to one more dock, caught a 4-pounder. And after that, it was rough. We didn't catch anything, but we were in the right place at the right time.
So let's take a minute and talk about that. So you're fishing docks. You fishing light or heavy? Light line or heavy line?
Me and myself, I'm a big line guy, so we were throwing 25-pound Seagar.
Yeah. So if you were fishing maybe an 8-pound, you might have that fish may not have made it, right?
That fish probably wouldn't have caught it, but we probably wouldn't have got it to bite either.
Okay. So why?
Because I was throwing a big jig, and we figured out in practice that it wasn't really a finesse bite. We were catching them on big baits, big worms, and stuff like that. And I tried live scoping in practice, couldn't catch any. So we were kind of hoping, but it worked out.
So your game plan was we're going to go heavy, right? And so think about that for those that are out there, right there, that tactic, heavy line, 20 pound, 25 pound, 25 pound braid, fluoro. You're pitching into the docks, and you connect on a 6-pounder. And now it's wrapping around cables. Anybody who's fished docks knows this. Were you ever like, oh my gosh, this thing's going to come unglued because it's sawing that line?
Well, we were fishing like 25-foot deep docks. So you feed your bait down through the dock, and I stuck him, and I could just hear it making noises. And I was like, I'm probably not going to catch this fish. But I got up there on top of it. We got it up, saw him, and he took back off. So I just loosened my drag and just held him until he came out, because they usually unwrapped himself, and he did, and we got him in the net.
So a little bit of patience. Were you exhibiting patience at that point, or was your heart pounding and you were just trying to wrench him in? Sound like you were a little bit of both.
Well, you have to stay calm, because you pull 1 second too hard and it's going to pop. And we knew that. And we got him in, and there was 25 foot of line that was frayed. We had to re-spool the whole reel.
Wow.
And after that, we knew it bought us a bunch of time.
Okay. I love that. That's real informative stuff. So out those our fan family out there watching, I think that's the kind of stuff we want to share with them. So that was the state championship. You enough to go home with all of the fun stuff, right?
Yes, sir. And even after the weigh-in, I took the boat and ran up to the marina that we had some fish in. We didn't even fish in the tournament because we thought we were doing the right thing. I went there and caught another 15 to 17 pound bag in an hour while we were waiting on everybody in the boat line.
Never stop, huh? You just don't. If just this always fishing. Wow, I love that. That's really cool. We're always kind of like trying to figure out this battle and competing, and a lot of us, rely on our faith and how it pushes us through the hard times and the good times. How does your faith guide your approach to tournaments and daily life?
Well, my faith guides me through tournaments. Every tournament I pray before. I pray for us to stay safe and everybody else on the water to stay safe, and pray for everybody to have the outcome they wanted.
Yeah. So I was thinking about that. If they're all praying for, the biggest limit, how does that work? Only one person could have the biggest bag.
Yes, sir. I mainly pray for everybody to stay safe, because in the end, that's the most important.
I agree with you. That's always been our prayer, is safe and to have relationships with him. And I kind of jokingly say that because I've fished enough tournaments. It's like, yeah, Lord, please just help me find the right school of fish. And some days it does. So that doesn't always come. God's plan is unique and different. And some days it's not always catching the heavy bag. And I know you know that because I've watched you come to the stage with the heaviest bag, and I've watched you come in just also just in the middle of the pack, but you've always held yourself with great dignity and great character. And I think that's the most important thing from tournament fishing. So has there been a moment on the water where you felt God teaching you something right then and there?
I think even in the state championship, he taught me something. Because the night before, we had Clay Dyers come and talk about God.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was on the water and I had that 6-pounder, I could really feel him teaching me patience, because we weren't in the greatest mindset up to that time. And then after we caught that fish, it was like, wow.
That just changed kind of the momentum and everything for you?
Yes, sir.
Wow. So do you have a favorite Bible verse? I ask everyone that question.
My favorite Bible verse is Luke 6:37, and it states, "Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven." And this really shows me, like, you walk as an imperfect man, so why would you judge other people when they could judge you right back? But it really gets you nowhere.
Wow. That's powerful, by the way. Very, very powerful. God speaks to us in quiet, rough water, quiet times. That's really powerful. I mean, I know God speaks to us in quiet water and rough water and everything in between, but just we were not condemned, and we shouldn't condemn others. That's really good. That's really good.
Yes, sir.
All right. Competition mindset. What did it feel like winning the championship last year on Lake Travis?
Well,
When you finally knew scales have closed, you were it.
well, I was really excited. I wanted to hug my grandpa, but he was sick, so we couldn't.
I know he was in the truck.
He was almost too sick to even come to the weigh-in, but I'm glad he could make it. And after that, it was really cool. I went out there. I was so happy I wanted to go fish again.
Yeah, I guess so.
I went out there and caught some more fish. And then practically my whole family showed up for that.
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
Well, when you come from a legacy of fishing, a fishing family, that's pretty cool. So you can sit there and share that moment with them. So I think we talked about this. Maybe we didn't. What was the most memorable day on the water last season?
Last season was probably Buchanan. That's my home lake. I live right on the lake. So we put a lot of work in to win that tournament. And when we went out there, it started with a roller coaster because I pulled up, almost had a heart attack, I thought. And then after that, we kept fishing. It really slowed down around noon. In the last 2 hours, we started to coal. And all of our fish were short, but they were fat from eating crawfish and stuff like that.
Very cool. So how do you stay grounded on tough days?
Well, I'd like to use Stillhouse as an example. We had 2 fish in the box all the way till 1:30, and those tournaments run till 3, and we were punching grass all day. And next cast could be the one that you catch a big fish on, so you just got to keep going and keep going until you do finally put it on one's head when they're not biting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough technique. Why don't you describe that for those that might be novice or their first year punching grass? What does that mean?
It was really my first year punching grass. I've only done it 3 times, which was the 2 times in practice in the tournament.
Okay.
And so I don't really know much about it, but I know it's a timing thing. We had the fish biting at 140 in one grass mat. We pulled up at 140, actually at 120. Didn't catch any fish, and the time it hit like 140 or 139, we had 3 fish in the box. So I learned that it's a timing thing. If you just keep your head down, you're eventually going to run into them and catch them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. There's a little bit of science involved in it, a little bit of time on the water, and then there's a element of luck. But punching grass, taking a heavy weight, heavy jig, dropping it through a mat of hydrilla. I'm assuming you were fishing for Stillhouse. The hydrilla, that hydrilla kind of comes up and lays over. So you're punching that in there where these fish are probably just hanging out,
Yes,
inactive, and you're forcing them to bite your bait at that point.
Yeah, it's really like a scare tactic. So you're trying to scare the fish into biting,
Okay.
but you got to be strong to do it, and you just got to have the right mindset going into it.
Yeah. Well, tournaments teach resilience, and I know you've shown great strength, and many anglers just haven't matched yet. So I love that you shared that with us. So we're going to go through a quick round here. I've got maybe 4 questions. Just respond kind of the first thing that comes to your mind, or however you want to respond. What's your favorite bait?
I like throwing a jig a lot.
All right. Big jig, little jig?
I'm not gonna lie, whatever the fish are biting, but most of the time it's a big jig.
Okay. All right. What is the dream lake that you would like to fish?
The dream lake I'd like to fish is probably a Robbie Dam in South America.
Say that again?
A Robbie Dam in South America. I think that's where it's at.
All right. Well, we're looking that one up. Why? Now I got to ask why.
Because I just saw a video. Scott Martin is down there fishing. Scott Martin, Drew Gill, Jacob Wheeler. All of those guys are down there fishing the World Championship against multiple different countries. And I saw that the lake sets up really nice.
Very cool. I'm going to have to look that one up too. I have not seen that episode. One word to describe Ethan.
Dang.
This is a hard-hitting interview.
Powerful.
It's wonderful. Powerful. Who's your favorite professional angler?
Probably Jacob Wheeler. But Drew Gill is starting to slowly catch up.
All right.
Just because of his knowledge with how fish act.
Okay. I'll have to check on him too. So I'm going to wrap up. I want to thank you, Ty, for joining us. Again, your dedication, your family legacy, your partnership with Ethan. This is all just, and your faith, truly an incredible example for young anglers for Fan. So thank you for being part of the Fan family. A shout out to the Llano fishing team, all the captains, the coaches, and the parents. What's up next for you?
Up next, I believe, is Coletto Creek Fan.
Yes.
But
depending on when this one comes out, they'll either have the results or a teaser. So,
yes, sir. And we're probably, up next is probably tomorrow on Buchanan. But
just some fun fishing.
I fish every day I can.
Awesome. Well, if y'all enjoyed this interview as much as I had, and you like what we're doing, sharing these student angler successes on the water and off the water, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell us who you would like to have us interview next. That would be kind of fun. I'll close. I love just to kind of close it up in a little prayer. So, Lord, thank you for Ty, for his gifts, for his character, his family. Thank you for the opportunities ahead for him. Bless every young angler striving to honor you through the sport they love. Amen. Ty, appreciate you, man. Hope you had fun.
Thank you.
See y'all on the water.
Bye.
Thanks for watching this episode of Real Talk, where faith, family, and fishing come together. This episode was brought to you by Shimano USA, Quality Fishing Tackle.